Thomas, a 68-year-old retiree, thought he was doing everything right. Each morning began with 2 boiled eggs, a banana, and a bowl of cereal, his version of a healthy breakfast. But at his latest checkup, his blood sugar had soared. His doctor took one look at his food log and gently said, "The very foods you believe are helping you are slowly working against you." That moment sparked a wake-up call. And maybe you're in the same boat. Are you eating eggs every day? Using ketchup without a second thought? Snacking on raisins thinking they're healthy? If so, this video is for you. Today, we're breaking down 6 foods that seem harmless, even healthy, but can quietly wreak havoc on your blood sugar, especially after age 60. One of them might just surprise you. Yes, you're unterus, sus, even eggs. So stay with me, because what you learn in the next few minutes could transform the way you eat for life. Before we begin, I'd really appreciate it if you like this video. It helps me keep sharing more important lessons. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend hitting the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Also, if you enjoy this video, please comment 1. If you don't, comment 0, so I know how to improve. Now, let's get started. And eggs, nutritious, but not as innocent as you think. Eggs have long been celebrated as a symbol of wholesome nutrition. Packed with protein, affordable, and incredibly versatile, it's no wonder that many people, especially older adults, start their day with 1 or 2 eggs. It's healthy, right? They ask. For years, we've been told that eggs are a near-perfect food, and in many ways, they are. But if you're living with diabetes, the story gets a little more complicated, and the details matter more than ever. Let's begin with a common habit: eating eggs daily. Many people with type 2 diabetes do this thinking it's a smart source of lean protein. And in moderation, that's true. But what most don't realize is that consistently eating large amounts of eggs, especially more than 7 per week, has been linked in some studies to increased insulin resistance and a higher risk of cardiovascular complications. One well-known study from Harvard found a notable connection between high egg consumption and the progression of type 2 diabetes. Why? It's not just the cholesterol in eggs that raises concerns. It's how they interact with the body's metabolic processes, especially when insulin function is already impaired. This doesn't mean eggs are the enemy. The truth is more nuanced. For people managing diabetes, it's all about frequency, quantity, and how those eggs are prepared. Scrambled with butter or fried in oil? That's a recipe for inflammation and blood sugar imbalance. Combine that with toast, bacon, and ketchup, and suddenly, breakfast isn't so healthy anymore. Here's the better path. If you enjoy eggs, you can still keep them on your plate, but with mindfulness. Aim for no more than 3 to 4 eggs per week. When you do eat them, opt for boiled or poached eggs instead of fried. Pair them with fiber-rich foods like steamed spinach, sautéed mushrooms in olive oil, or a slice of whole grain toast. This helps buffer the blood sugar impact and adds important nutrients your body craves. Also, don't underestimate the power of variety. You can swap out some egg-based meals with plant-based protein sources like tofu scramble, Greek yogurt with chia seeds, or even a hearty bowl of overnight oats topped with almonds and cinnamon. These options provide long-lasting energy, stabilize blood sugar, and are naturally lower in saturated fat. In short, eggs aren't off-limits, but they do require respect and restraint, especially if you're managing type 2 diabetes. The key lies in understanding how even healthy foods, when consumed in excess or prepared the wrong way, can quietly disrupt your progress. By making small shifts in how often and how you eat eggs, you protect not only your blood sugar, but also your heart. And that's a trade-off worth making. 2. Bananas, naturally sweet, but not always. Blood sugar. Friendly bananas have earned a reputation as one of nature's most convenient and feel-good snacks. They're portable, affordable, and seem like the ideal choice for a quick breakfast, especially for older adults trying to eat healthier. It's easy to see why someone might grab a banana on their way out the door or slice one into a bowl of cereal. It's fruit, after all. How bad could it be? But when you're living with diabetes or prediabetes, that healthy habit may be doing more harm than good. Let's take a closer look. A medium-sized banana contains roughly 14 grams of sugar and about 27 grams of carbohydrates. That's not a small number, especially when you consider that bananas have a high glycemic index, GI, typically ranging from 60 to 70 depending on ripeness. What does that mean for you? It means your blood sugar can spike rapidly after eating a banana, especially if it's ripe and eaten on an empty stomach. While your body may handle that sugar surge efficiently when you're young and metabolically healthy, things change as we age, particularly for those managing insulin resistance. There's also a common misconception that the sugar in fruit is somehow safer than processed sugar. But for people with diabetes, sugar is sugar, whether it comes from a cookie or a banana. The difference is that fruit also brings fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. However, bananas are relatively low in fiber compared to other fruits, and they don't offer enough of a buffering effect to slow the sugar rush. When you eat a banana by itself, the sugar hits your bloodstream fast, and your pancreas must work overtime to produce insulin. Over time, this cycle can wear down your system and lead to dangerous fluctuations in blood sugar levels. Now, does this mean bananas are evil? Not at all. Like most foods, it's not about elimination. It's about education. If you really love bananas, you don't have to cut them out completely. One smart trick is to eat just half a banana and pair it with a source of healthy fat or protein, such as almond butter or Greek yogurt. This combination slows digestion and moderates the blood sugar response. Better yet, consider swapping bananas for lower sugar, higher fiber fruits like green apples, strawberries, or avocado. These choices offer plenty of nutritional benefits without the metabolic spike. In the end, bananas aren't a bad food. They're just not the best choice if you're aiming to manage your blood sugar throughout the day. A little knowledge and a few strategic swaps can go a long way. By understanding how your body reacts to certain fruits and learning to balance them properly, you're giving yourself the power to take control of your health, one bite at a time. And that's a sweet victory worth aiming for. Jahons ou fris. Ketchup, the sweet danger hiding in plain sight. For many of us, ketchup feels like an innocent indulgence, just a small squirt on your morning eggs, a dab with roasted potatoes, or a swipe across a sandwich. It's familiar, flavorful, and something we've used since childhood without thinking twice. But if you're managing diabetes or concerned about blood sugar levels, it's time to take a second look at what's really inside that bright red bottle. Because as harmless as it seems, ketchup is often one of the sneakiest sources of hidden sugar in your daily diet. The problem lies not in the taste, but in the ingredients, specifically high fructose corn syrup, HFCS, which is commonly used in commercial ketchup to enhance flavor and extend shelf life. This form of sugar is rapidly absorbed by the body and has been linked to insulin resistance, fatty liver, and metabolic imbalance, especially harmful for those with type 2 diabetes. Just 1 tablespoon of ketchup contains about 4 grams of added sugar, and since it's rarely used alone, that number can add up fast. Spread across a sandwich, mixed into a meatloaf, or dipped with fries, that little bit of ketchup could easily tip your blood sugar in the wrong direction. And here's the catch. Ketchup doesn't contain fiber, healthy fats, or protein, three key nutrients that help slow down glucose absorption. So, what you're getting is a quick hit of sweetness that your body processes almost immediately, causing a spike in blood sugar followed by a crash. That roller coaster effect is exhausting for the pancreas and dangerous over time for anyone managing insulin-related conditions. It's also easy to overlook ketchup's impact because it's used in such small amounts. But consider this. Many people use far more than a tablespoon at a time, and ketchup often appears in multiple meals throughout the day without being counted as a sugar source. That's where the real danger lies, in the slow, silent accumulation. So, what can you do? First, become a label detective. Look for ketchup brands that are labeled "no added sugar" or "unsweetened", and check that HFCS is not among the first ingredients. Better yet, try making your own ketchup at home using simple ingredients like tomato paste, apple cider vinegar, garlic, and spices. It's easier than you think and allows you to control exactly what goes into your body. Another great option: swap ketchup for mustard, especially yellow or Dijon mustard, which adds tang without the sugar. Hummus, avocado mash, or even a dash of hot sauce can also add flavor without sabotaging your glucose levels. In the end, it's not about giving up flavor. It's about making informed choices. When you start to notice how something as small as a condiment can impact your health, you're one step closer to mastering your meals and, by extension, your well-being. Because every bite and every squeeze of ketchup counts more than you think. 4. White pasta, a comfort food that's quietly disrupting your blood sugar. There's something undeniably comforting about a warm plate of pasta. It's simple, satisfying, and easy to prepare. A go-to meal for many, especially when energy or appetite feels low. For older adults looking for something light on the stomach yet filling, white pasta often seems like the perfect solution. But behind that familiar bowl of spaghetti lies a nutritional trap that's all too easy to overlook, especially if you're living with diabetes or trying to manage your blood sugar levels. Let's start with the basics. White pasta is made from refined flour, meaning it has been stripped of most of its fiber and nutrients during processing. What you're left with is a simple carbohydrate that your body digests quickly, far too quickly in fact. The glycemic index, GI, of white pasta typically exceeds 70, placing it in the category of high GI foods. When you eat it, your blood sugar doesn't just rise, it spikes. And if that pasta is paired with tomato sauce, bread, or other starches, the effect is multiplied. Now, here's the subtle danger. Unlike candy or soda, white pasta doesn't taste overtly sweet, so it doesn't trigger warning bells for most people watching their sugar intake. But metabolically speaking, your body processes it in much the same way. Without the buffering power of fiber or protein, white pasta turns into glucose almost immediately, flooding your bloodstream and putting stress on your pancreas to produce enough insulin to respond. Over time, this pattern can lead to greater insulin resistance and increased difficulty keeping blood sugar levels in check. Of course, nobody's suggesting you say goodbye to pasta forever. What matters is which pasta you choose and how you prepare it. Today, there are far healthier options on the shelves: pasta made from whole grains, chickpeas, lentils, or brown rice. These alternatives are higher in fiber and protein, meaning they digest more slowly and keep your blood sugar more stable. One increasingly popular choice is zucchini noodles, also known as zoodles, which are low in carbohydrates but full of vitamins and water. Plus, they absorb sauces beautifully. Beyond switching pasta types, you can also balance the overall meal. Pair your pasta with lean proteins like grilled chicken, turkey meatballs, or tofu, And be generous with non-starchy vegetables like spinach, broccoli, or mushrooms. Even the sauce matters. Choose one low in sugar, or make your own from crushed tomatoes, garlic, and herbs. The key takeaway is this: white pasta isn't as harmless as it looks. It's not just a matter of calories or carbs, it's how quickly those carbs affect your blood sugar. By making thoughtful swaps and building better balanced plates, you can still enjoy your favorite comfort foods without compromising your health. In the world of diabetes management, knowledge isn't just power, it's prevention on a plate. Breakfast cereals, the healthy choice that might be harming your blood sugar. There's something comforting about a bowl of cereal in the morning. It's quick, familiar, and often marketed with promises like heart-healthy, whole grain, or fortified with vitamins. For older adults aiming to make smart dietary choices, this seems like a no-brainer, especially when paired with milk and a sprinkle of fruit. But here's the truth many don't realize. Most boxed breakfast cereals are less of a health food and more of a blood sugar bomb, cleverly disguised behind colorful packaging and health-conscious claims. Let's start with what's inside the box. A typical serving of commercial breakfast cereal contains anywhere from 15 to 20 grams of sugar. And that's before you add milk or fruit. Some brands even have more sugar than a chocolate chip cookie. The problem isn't just the sugar itself, but how it's delivered. Without enough fiber, protein, or fat to slow down digestion, the carbohydrates are absorbed quickly, leading to a rapid spike in blood glucose. For people over 60, whose insulin sensitivity often decreases with age, this kind of blood sugar roller coaster is especially dangerous. And the dangers don't end there. Many cereals are also made with refined grains and artificial additives, which offer little nutritional value and can contribute to long-term metabolic issues. Some include food dyes, preservatives, and synthetic vitamins that sound impressive but don't absorb well in the body. What you end up with is a product that feels like a healthy choice, but behaves in your body more like processed junk food. So why do so many of us reach for cereal each morning? Because it's easy, nostalgic, and it seems healthy. But when managing diabetes, or simply aiming for stable energy throughout the day, convenience shouldn't come at the cost of your well-being. Thankfully, there's a smarter and just as simple alternative. Enter the unsung hero of the breakfast table: old-fashioned rolled oats. Unlike instant oats or flavored oatmeal packets, rolled oats are minimally processed, naturally low in sugar, and high in soluble fiber, especially beta-glucan, which helps reduce blood sugar and cholesterol. When you combine oats with blood sugar-friendly toppings like chia seeds, ground cinnamon, and a few thin slices of apple, you create a breakfast that's warm, satisfying, and supportive of your metabolic health. Best of all, it's customizable and just as quick. Prepare overnight oats in the fridge the night before, or cook a fresh batch in 5 minutes on the stove. You'll not only avoid the sugar spikes of boxed cereal, but also fuel your morning with real, whole ingredients that work with your body, not against it. In the end, the breakfast choice you make each morning sets the tone for your entire day. By swapping sugary cereals for nourishing options like rolled oats, you reclaim control over your energy, your blood sugar, and your long-term health. 6. Raisins, the natural candy that may be sabotaging your blood sugar. At first glance, raisins seem like one of the better snack choices. They're natural, portable, and often praised for being rich in iron and antioxidants. For many older adults, popping a handful of raisins after a walk or adding them to oatmeal feels like a health-conscious move, something your body will thank you for. But here's the part that rarely gets mentioned. Raisins, while natural, are also highly concentrated in sugar. And for people managing diabetes or blood sugar imbalances, that natural sweetness can come at a steep cost. The reason is simple, but often overlooked. Raisins are dried grapes, meaning the water content has been removed, but the sugar remains. As a result, all that sweetness is packed into a much smaller volume. It's easy to eat a quarter cup of raisins in a few bites, but that tiny serving contains around 30 grams of carbohydrates, most of which are simple sugars. To put it in perspective, that's roughly the same carb load as a can of soda. Except you may not realize it because raisins don't taste like soda or feel indulgent. And unlike fresh fruit, dried fruit doesn't contain much water or fiber to slow down digestion, meaning the sugar hits your bloodstream fast. This rapid absorption can be a real problem for anyone dealing with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes. Blood sugar spikes aren't just uncomfortable, they're dangerous over time. They put stress on the pancreas, lead to inflammation, and can accelerate complications related to the heart, eyes, kidneys, and nerves. And yet, because raisins come from fruit, they often fly under the radar when we think about foods to avoid or limit. Now, this doesn't mean you need to swear off raisins forever, but it does mean it's time to be strategic. If you love raisins, try using just a few as a flavor accent, like sprinkling 5 or 6 into a bowl of steel-cut oats or a salad, rather than grabbing a handful as a standalone snack. Better yet, consider more blood sugar-friendly alternatives that still satisfy the need for something sweet or chewy. Fresh grapes are a great start. They contain more water and fiber, which helps slow sugar absorption. Just be mindful of portion sizes, especially with red or black grapes. You might also explore snacks like raw almonds, walnuts, or a few slices of apple with peanut butter. These options deliver nutrients and energy without the glycemic roller coaster. In the end, the idea that natural always means safe is a comforting myth, but a myth nonetheless. With a bit of awareness and a few smarter swaps, you can still enjoy snacks that support your health goals without feeling deprived. And when it comes to managing diabetes, that balance between enjoying life and protecting your health is exactly what we're aiming for. When it comes to managing diabetes, especially after age 60, the answer isn't about cutting out all your favorite foods or following a strict, joyless diet. The real key lies in understanding what your body needs and learning how to eat in a way that supports, not sabotages, your health. It's not about deprivation. It's about making smarter, more mindful choices, one meal at a time. By identifying which foods trigger blood sugar spikes and replacing them with healthier, equally satisfying options, you're taking control in a powerful way. Whether it's switching from white pasta to whole grain or trading sugary cereals for heart-healthy oats, these small changes add up. They help protect your heart, your nerves, your vision, and most importantly, your quality of life. Because here's the truth. Controlling diabetes doesn't begin with a pill. It begins in the kitchen. In the choices you make at breakfast, in the snacks you keep on hand, and in the way you listen to your body every day. You don't need perfection. You just need consistency, awareness, and a little encouragement. And that's exactly why I'm here. So, if you've been feeling overwhelmed, discouraged, or unsure where to start, take a deep breath. You've already taken the first step by learning. And now, the next step is yours. You absolutely can live a longer, healthier, more energized life, starting with your very next meal.